So welcome everyone. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's webinar. I'm Lee Porter, one of the account managers here at Virtual Cabinet. So I'll be running you through today's webinar on 5 benefits of creating a mobile workforce. I know that some of you are already using the mobile app already and others are kind of here to find out more. But as usual, because it is the first time for some of you guys, if you do have any questions, please type them in the comments box. Within your webinar screen. I'll try my best to answer them as we go through, but anything that I don't cover, your account manager will be in touch with you shortly afterward. So a recording of this webinar will be made available, which will be likely sent out over the next week or so. I know with everything going on in the country at the moment, I imagine there's probably a few people that weren't able to make it today, so not to worry if either your colleague missed out, we can send it across to you for you to share with the team. So also most of our webinars are uploaded to our YouTube channel. So plenty of helpful content on there, whether it's the portal or email capture, document retention. We've got 25, 30-minute long videos and little 2-minute bite-sized snippets as well. So if you've never seen it before, I recommend that you take a look. So I usually like to kick things off by mentioning if you are an older version, I recommend you upgrade to the latest one, which is version 4.3. So this is something we can do for you totally free. You can either contact support, just call the Virtual Cabinet contact number and select option 2, or email support@virtualcabinet.com, or you can just drop an email to your account manager and we can point you in the right direction or log a ticket for you. So some of the new features that we'll be running through on the mobile app today does depend on you being on the latest version as well. So if it is something that you're going to be taking seriously, we would need you to jump onto the latest version. And plus there's some other benefits with the software as well, multiple branding. So if you've got different areas of business, you might have a financial services arm and an accounting arm, but they've actually got 2 completely different brands. So now with the multiple branding, you can both continue to use the portal, but when the client sees it, they can see which business it comes from essentially. So what is remote working? So remote work is a working style that allows you and your team to work outside of a traditional office environment, and it's based on the concept that work does not need to be done in a specific location to be executed successfully. I know it's been popular with a number of my clients as well as us here at Virtual Cabinet for a number of reasons. I think whether it's due to different working attitudes now, but a lot of people are almost expecting to be able to come into a role and be able to work remotely as and when they need to. And also different technology. We're all starting to roll out tools now that allow us to work from anywhere at any time, which is obviously evolving how we work as employees. So essentially you just want the right tools to be able to do all of this remotely as and when, and especially with everything that's going on at the moment with coronavirus, businesses without certain measures in place, they're going to notice some disruption to their day-to-day. So today I'll be covering some of the benefits of a mobile workforce and running through some of the functionality of the mobile app alongside that. So I've got some slides and I've got short video clips of the app in action. The app can be used on your Windows PC as well. So you've kind of got a kind of a light version of Virtual Cabinet where you can access documents that I'll run through a demonstration of as well, and some real life examples such as how people have found it helpful. So this is a new feature that we're using with our webinars at the moment. It allows us just to kind of ask a question and get a bit more information from you guys really, and it makes things a little bit more interactive for you guys back in the office or at home, wherever you may be. So a question will pop up on your screen now. Bear with me 1 second. And I'm going to launch that. So how prepared is your business for remote working? So the first one is completely prepared. Second one is mostly prepared. Halfway there, somewhat unprepared, or not prepared. So if you could answer that whenever you get the chance, that would be brilliant. I'll leave that up there for another 15-20 seconds to give you a bit more time. I'm going to close the poll and then share the results. So 50% are mostly prepared, 25% are halfway there. I imagine some of you may even be making changes at the moment to the way you're working. So you're going through that process of changing a few bits around, and then 25% of you are somewhat unprepared. So if you do need any advice, your account managers are here. So if there's any direct questions in regards to infrastructure, different software providers that you're using at the moment. Yeah, feel free to ask us any questions. We don't have all the answers, but if we can help at all, yeah, please do let us know. But yeah, thanks very much, guys, for doing that. So the first benefit is increased productivity. So where it stands out for me is making the most out of your dead time. So whether you're commuting on public transport, I can see a couple of you are London based here, so I imagine a big part of your life and day is spent on the train. Waiting for a colleague or lounge on the sofa on the evening, you want the right tools to be efficient in your own time. And it also helps you as an employee to stay on top of your workload, which is obviously going to benefit the business in the process. If you're managing things like processes and tasks through the mobile app, that's going to have a direct effect on your client experience as well. So this has helped me personally, as I like to save all my admin work, as it can take valuable time during the day. And once I put my son to bed, it allows me just to catch up on some other bits. And then I know when I go in the following day to work, I can be more productive. I can have better conversations with my clients. So an interesting fact for you. So the average daily commute in Britain takes about 58.4 minutes, which equates to 18.5 days per year spent commuting. Sorry, yeah, this just shows you how much time you could potentially use to be productive. So I'm not saying 18.5 days you're going to be using specifically for work. There's still going to be enough time for cat videos and all things like that. But even if you could do a quarter of that 18.5, it's going to allow you to be a bit more productive. And then if you're scaling that across the business, it can be a massive benefit to the team and obviously the business directly. So I'm going to just play a short clip now. So if you look at the slide, this is just opening the mobile app, logging in, and these are the most recent documents. So you're seeing the same documents as if you were to log into Virtual Cabinet, select the home screen, and the documents that are there. These are the most recent documents that I've been on. And I can open up the document. It will show me the document in a kind of a viewer, and then view that document as and when. So there's no VPNs to connect. It just connects directly to your server back at the office or your laptop if you are just maybe a single user using Virtual Cabinet at the moment. And the communication tool between the two is AWS, so it's all very secure. So the next benefit is reduced costs and increased profits. So I mentioned earlier about the time that you'll save commuting, or the time that you're using commuting to be more productive. And also fewer people in the office is going to reduce utility bills. So paper files not being used as much. You can walk out to a client's site instead of having to export paper files. You can just walk out with the client site. You've obviously got if you're using a laptop, you can have Virtual Cabinet open. If you've got a tablet, you can use the VC app, and obviously your mobile phone as well. And of course, it's going to reduce costs for your employees. So that's commuting sort of costs like fuel, train tickets, and all things like that. So a number of reasons why people have adopted remote working policies. So some of these reasons include attracting the top talent. I think a lot of people now, especially millennials, are almost expecting to go into a role where they're able to work remotely. The data says that increased loyalty amongst employees if they've got more freedom to work as and when and where they need to. And also the mobile technologies increases the productivity and efficiency of everyone who's using them as well. So next one is faster business processes. So having an efficient business process and including the remote team and the right tools as part of the workflow can drastically increase the efficiency of the business. So standard processes like client or staff onboarding, engagement letter or invoice approval can all be managed through the mobile app alongside tasks in VC. So remote workers can be in any location. They can stay on top of the approval process and action the tasks to reduce bottlenecks. And then with on the actual Virtual Cabinet software itself, you've got full reporting and full visibility of the business process. So you can break it down by actual process, whether that's invoice approval, client onboarding, whether it's the worker. So for example, you know that Lee's actually not in the office next week, so I can see all of his tasks and assign them to someone else. And it just gives you visibility that you just wouldn't have at the moment if you've not got a similar program in place. So one of my clients, before they started using tasks, they had a weekly catch-up, and everyone would get in, they'd have to pre-prepare, they'd have a conversation and say where they were up to with each piece of work. But they completely got rid of that meeting now, because the management team and the managers could all see exactly where each process was up to. And these tasks are basically set up to mirror your existing processes at the moment. It's not a case of implementing a software and you have to manipulate the way you work to suit the software. Software, so it's complements to how you're already working, allows you to do it in a more of a digital manner. So the mobile app works on iOS, like I mentioned before, Android, that's your iPhone, your Android device, and also Windows as well. So you can have it on your laptop, or if you've got a Windows phone as well, you'll be able to use it on there. So the next thing I'm going to do is jump into a live demonstration of the tasks. So I showed you before how it looked on the mobile phone. I'm going to show you now how it looks on the actual desktop app. So bear with me 1 second. So if you notice here on my desktop, I've got the Virtual Cabinet Go app. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open it up. But before I go into that, I had a question on yesterday's webinar asking how do I actually get the desktop app on my laptop. So if you type in Virtual Cabinet Mobile app, click on the top link, and then from here you can download it onto your Windows PC and then match that with your existing virtual cabinet. So there is a subscription cost with the mobile app, which we can go through a little bit later, but yeah, basically you can match it to your existing account, and then one mobile app license gives it to you on 3 separate devices. So that is how you download it onto your desktop. So I've logged into the app. You've got your options here on the left hand side, so it looks exactly the same as the mobile app itself. It's just on my laptop. These are the most recent documents that I've been on, but I want to go into the tasks, so the existing business processes that I've got at the moment. Some people might actually be managing them through email at the moment. You might be managing them through your practice management solution using the workflow module there, or you might use a complete other piece of software. But it's nice to have something that's linked with your document management software, so you can actually see the document that you're approving and rejecting depending on what the process is. So I can see here that I've received a task for approval from Lead Porter. I know it's quite strange because it's actually coming from myself. So I'm going to open up the task. I can see there's one file associated with this. I can see the process is invoice approval. I can see when it was started. It's overdue now. It was meant to be done by the 24th of Feb. And I can see that it was high priority as well. So no matter where I am in the world, I can action this task. Mobile phone, tablet, Windows, I can reject it. So depending on what the process is, if I was to reject it, it might go back to the person who created it, and then they can do their bit and make changes and send it back to me. Or if I approve it, it might go to the finance director for further approval. So I've approved that task. That's then moved out of my kind of to-do list here and then passed on to the next person within the workflow. So another example of this would be, okay, maybe a tax pack's been sent to me for approval. So once again, it's sent for me from Lead Porter. I can see the files associated with this task, so I can click here and it'll open. So just so you know, guys, anything that I open on the left-hand side actually pops up on my other laptop screen, so I need to drag it across. I can see here that it's a tax return. So if I go back to the process, I'm happy with that. I'm now going to approve it. Done. So it's a very powerful tool. You're streamlining your business processes. It's allowing you to be doing it in more of a paperless manner if it's quite a manual process at the moment. And then you can manage that process no matter where you are in the world through the mobile app. So if you are using the actual VC application on your desktop, I think this is a Word document here. Yeah, so if I double click, it actually opens up the document in its native format on Word. So if you were to do that on your mobile device, it would just bring like a viewer of that document where you can view it. But if you open it up on the desktop, it will actually open up the original file format of that document. So I think I'll stop at this point now just to see if anyone's got any questions. Question from Andy: how do you recommend getting documents into the app if they're currently paper-based? So if they're a paper-based file, I'd recommend just scanning them directly into Virtual Cabinet. If you've got a scanner, like a little desktop scanner with a Twain driver, you'll be able to scan directly into Virtual Cabinet. So a lot of my client meetings, some clients are aware of it, some are not. But if you select the scan option in Virtual Cabinet, there should be a document separator sheet option. So what this is basically a piece of paper with a barcode on the front. So you can print a load of those out. You can keep them next to the little desktop scanner. You can scan, I think it's about 100 pages per minute in some cases, directly into Virtual Cabinet and then index them away from there. But if you do have a backlog of paper files in the business, that's a quick way that you can get everything into VC. Do I need a VPN to log into the app? No, you don't. No, so it will just pair with the existing infrastructure you've got at the moment. So if you're a one user, it will pair with your laptop or your computer. And then if you are maybe a larger business, you've got a server that's all set up, and that's where we're going to pair with it, all through AWS. No worries, Andy. Also, I've had another question come through. How do you pair the mobile app with your account? So if you do decide that you want to go ahead with the mobile app, a license then sent out to yourselves, and then you go into Virtual Cabinet. Probably the best just to show you. If I drag my VC across, select Virtual Cabinet, go, and you can see now that it's generating a QR code. So if you were to download the app on your mobile phone, you can then open the app, it'll go straight to the camera, and then that will then pair the two devices together. So it's worth mentioning that your security profiles that you have in Virtual Cabinet at the moment will be exactly the same in the app. So let's just say you've got a director's cabinet, a client's cabinet, a HR cabinet, and then me personally, I don't have access to the HR or the director's cabinet. So if I use the mobile app, it's going to be the same. I'm still not going to have access to those cabinets. And then same with the document level as well. And for those of you that aren't familiar with security profiles, Virtual Cabinet can be limited to different users, so it can be broken down on document. So certain people can't access certain documents, certain client records, functionality as well. So a good example of this, a client of mine had a temp over the Christmas period, but they didn't want to give them the ability to delete documents. So yeah, it can all be customized to suit you. And if that is something you are interested in at all, just drop a quick question in the box, sorry, a quick sentence in the box just saying security profiles, and we can get in touch with you shortly afterward. So the next benefit is improved client service and response times. So if you are managing things like tasks remotely, it means that there's no delay to the process. So if a tax pack's been created for approval to the management team, so obviously when you create a document for approval, it doesn't necessarily go to the one person, it can go to a team of people. So one of the managers can then open up the task and they can approve it. And while they're out the office, it doesn't matter where they are. And then once this document's been approved by them, it's going to continue in the next stage of the process. So that might be to go to the admin member of the team who's actually office-based, go to them, they can then send it out the door to the client for signature via the portal. This is the old way, and some people may be doing this already. Some of my clients I know are still doing it at the moment. They might be printing off a document, putting it onto the owner of the business or the director's kind of pigeonhole, and he'll sign it when he gets to it. But normally a lot of people within those roles are client facing, or that they're often out or in meetings, that they can't always be at their desk signing documents. So just arming them with the tools that they can still manage the process. It doesn't cause any delay to anyone in the business, and it also doesn't cause any delay to the client. So overall, the whole process is improved from start to the client receiving it. And also, let's just go into client meetings as well. I did mention this earlier, but I think it's definitely worth mentioning again. Some VC users at the moment might be exporting a client record from Virtual Cabinet into a folder structure, and they'll take that away. Others might just print a lot of documents, take those paper files with them. Obviously, the issue is there. you're not having the most up-to-date version of the document. And then if you are using things like the mobile app, you could have someone in the business making some final touches to the document, and then the person who's actually out on the road meeting someone has always got access to the most up-to-date version. And you've also got visibility of all the signed documents in your in tray. So if you are maybe on the new business side of things and you're sending out proposals out to clients, once you've got a signed document back from the client, you'll have visibility in your in tray. I can open up that document. I can also pass it to another person in the practice as well, all while I'm out of the office or through the mobile app. So here's another clip. So basically just doing the exact process I just mentioned there. You're going into your in tray, you can see the signed document there. Those who are familiar with the digital signatures, you can see the signed document just there at the bottom. And then from there, I can then pass that to my colleague George, who might be back in the office, and then he's aware of it as well. So the searching is very intuitive. So you can search across your cabinets that you've got set up at the moment. You can break it down by your most recent searches as well. If you've got a number of documents for that client, you can just filter, just show me the documents for the past 6 months, or just show me the documents for the last 12 months. So it just allows you to keep a nice clean search, and you find it's nice and easy for you to find those documents. And then the searching options are your keyword searches, very similar to that. When you select the search screen in Virtual Cabinet, you've got the keyword search bar there, but you've also got the index searches as well. So that panel that's usually on the right-hand side for yourself, where you can get quite granular with your search. Exactly the same for the mobile app, so you can always find what you're looking for, and quickly. So the next benefit is boost employee engagement and well-being. So sometimes the confines of a traditional 9-to-5 working day aren't conducive to modern life. So all things like picking up the kids from school or going to the gym are much easier to fit into your day if you've got the right tools in place. So with the disruption that coronavirus is causing at the moment, the reality is we should have measures in place so teams are able to work remotely. I know some people are making some drastic changes now, and just making sure you've got the correct procedures in place just to ensure business continuity. So best practice would be to trial remote working, making yourself aware of your software provider's continuity statement. And even though this current issue has got us thinking more about remote working, overall it is a lot to be had by implementing a mobile workforce. All things like making the most of your bedtime, reducing costs, improving your client's experience, and increasing productivity. So what's coming? We're now going to be able to add files directly into the mobile app. There's a couple of examples that I can think of where it would work well for some of my clients. Someone who's like a surveyor, and they're often out of the office, they might need to take a picture of something, whether that's on their mobile. They can then add that picture directly into the mobile app. Another use case would be, I know a lot of my clients like to use the scanner app on their mobile phone. You can scan a document, that usually PDFs that document, and then you can add the PDF directly into the mobile app as well. And there is more to come with the mobile app, but for the moment, the task has been the big game changer for a lot of people, and obviously the new features that will be implemented shortly. So version 4.4 will be coming out as well. So multiple branding, which I mentioned, converting Word to PDF. So this is a brilliant for me personally. I quite like it. Is you can have a Word document that's saved into Virtual Cabinet. You can select that Word document, and you'll have an option at the top just saying convert to PDF. Press it, within about 2 or 3 seconds, that document's then been created, basically converted into a PDF. You'll still have access to all the older versions with the version control, so you can see all the older versions of the Word document, but you would have a new version of that document, which would be the PDF. And the saved searches being a bit more accessible. And we're expecting that to be released over the next 2 or 3 months. So yeah, please join us for our next webinar, which will be on the portal. But this will be done by my colleague, Sebastian Heinrich. Some of you may have spoken with him already. And we're the account management team, so obviously myself, Ken, you might be familiar with, or George or Seb, but we are here to help, and especially with what's going on in the country at the moment. If you are unsure about things, yeah, please do give us a call. If we've got the knowledge on that particular subject, we will help out. But thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate you jumping on today. If you've got any questions or you want me to run over anything again, please just let me know. Just comment on the box, and I'll run through it something again. But yeah, thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate it.